I think we are officially live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully you guys can hear us. There we go. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Moto Mom Live. I want to introduce Mary here. So I came across you when I started to think about motovlogging and that supportmvc. You were a great resource for me. You just knew so many individuals, so many female individuals too. It was a fantastic connection. So I want to thank you, first of all, for being on.
Oh, thanks, Whit. Of course. Yep. I'm happy to be here this morning.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I could be of help in some way.
You are so much more than I think you give yourself credit for. But for those that may not know and are on this live stream or watching afterwards, can you give a little bit more about yourself and who you are and all that fun jazz that comes along with?
Yeah, sure, of course. Okay, so I'm Mary. I'm from Florida. I ride a 2015 Honda Shadow Phantom. Love my bike. And I haven't done a whole lot of riding in the last year, but I'm trying to get back into it this year. I've had some personal stuff going on the last year, but
For sure.
Yeah, but that's me pretty much. I'm on YouTube and Instagram and part of the moto community and part of Five Dirty Bikers podcast.
You have quite the resume for sure.
Yeah.
So how did you start getting into motorcycling? Let's kind of take it back a little bit.
Okay. So preteen I guess it was preteen. My cousin had some Honda trail bikes and they have lots and lots of property. And so I would ride trail bikes with my cousins. That was my first experience into motorcycling. Of course, at the time you're not thinking I'm on a motorcycle. You're just thinking, I'm out here having fun. Yeah. And just jumping all kinds of dirt mounds and all kinds of stuff, ripping down the roads on those little things. And
no accidents, hopefully, or anything.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really give it much thought at the time. And then when I was probably 15 or 16 years old, I had a guy that in my little town where I was at that he said, let's go for a motorcycle ride. He had a motorcycle. So I got on the back of his motorcycle and we rode around town. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And so that kind of stuck in the back of my head for a while. And then, of course, when I was an adult, I always wanted a motorcycle. And I had mentioned it to my then husband at the time and said, let's get motorcycles. And he said, no, we can't because our daughter's too young. And, if something happens to us. And so we kept putting it off. And finally his brother one day said, I'm selling my motorcycle. And I said, to me?
Yeah.
You're selling it to me.
So how old was she when you finally got your bike?
Let's see. I've been riding about 5 years now. So she was around 14.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you kind of you always had this in the back of your mind that you wanted to, but you waited until.
Yeah. And the opportunity presented itself and I jumped on it. I said, that's going to be my bike. So yeah, I ended up buying my brother-in-law's Honda Shadow 600.
Okay. How was that for you?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I took to it I always say I took to it like a duck to water, but yes, immediately I just jumped on it and started riding.
How did you, and this is kind of bringing it back to the Moto Mom part, how did you juggle that first couple years of riding with still raising a family and working?
So since she was 14 at the time, I mean, she was of age to be able to stay at home by herself. Of course, she had friends that she hung out with on the weekends and stuff like that. So, we made sure that we spent time with her as well, but took every opportunity to jump on the motorcycles and ride.
Did she have any interest when you first started riding to get into motorcycling too? Or
at first, no, none at all. But then a couple of years ago, a friend of hers and she were talking, and I think her friend brought it up first, like, hey, our parents ride. We should really get some motorcycles and ride. And so they kind of tossed around the idea. And we were out at lunch one day with her, and she just simply mentioned in the car, like, "Hey, Becca and I were talking about getting motorcycles and learning how to ride." And of course, the light bulb went on
Yeah.
immediately in her dad's mind, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, so we got to do this, this, and this, and da da da." And I am not kidding you when I say an hour later, after we got home from lunch, he sat down at his computer,
Started looking.
he found a used bike, and in like 2 hours, we were on the road and went and bought this Yamaha V-Star for her and
No
brought it
way.
home.
No
Yes
way.
way. I mean, like, just bam, that fast. He was like, "You wanna ride? Okay, let's go." Bang.
You didn't even
And
have
I was
time to
like,
comprehend, like, "Oh, okay, this
I
is."
know, and I'm thinking, jumping the gun, and sure enough, it sat in the garage for months,
Okay.
literally months, and we kept trying to encourage her,
Yep.
"Tori, you've gotta get out there, you've got to practice," and I was trying to be nonchalant, just kinda, because I can be very like, "Let's do this, let's do this."
Let's go.
But at the time, I knew her personality. I
Okay.
couldn't push her. I was
Yep.
like, "No, I've gotta back off," and, I'm excited, but at the same time, I've really gotta back off. And so, he, kept trying to say, "Well, let's go out there and we'll go over, how to shift and this, that, and the other."
Mhm.
And it literally took her months to get on that bike. And she tried it one day for a little bit, and she was like, "Okay, so I know how everything works now," but she never did, like, ride it across the yard or anything.
Okay.
And so a couple more months went by, and it got to the point to where he was like, "Look, if you're not gonna ride this motorcycle,
You can't
you
keep
know,
yeah,
we're having to take it out and ride it just to keep,
keep it going. Yeah.
everything running through it and the fluids through it and everything, and so if you're not gonna ride it, we need to sell it." And so she ended up getting out there one day, and she got on it and went across the yard and did a couple of loops and stuff. And that was that. And then it sat for like another month. And finally he just said, "Look, if you're not interested, just tell us you're not interested and we'll sell it." And she's like, "I just don't think I want to." And so we ended up selling it.
But at least you gave her the opportunity. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the main
Immediately gave her
issue.
the opportunity.
There was
But
no regret in her mind of like, "Okay, maybe I don't wanna do this, maybe I do."
yeah,
You at least gave her the
yeah,
chance to say that, and
yeah.
who's to say, like, later on in life that she wants to pick it back up and
True,
she's
true. Yeah, and we did end up turning around and selling it, and we didn't lose any money on it, so that was good.
that's good. But
Yeah.
I love that you at least got her started or introduced into the
Mhm.
motorcycling community. So
Yeah.
for those that, maybe are looking to be or are in that same position and looking to get into motorcycling,
Mhm.
I guess, can you give some of your tips or things that worked for you to be interested in motorcycling? What
Yeah, of
worked for
course.
you? How did you find out about that?
Okay, so the first thing I did, obviously, when I decided to ride a motorcycle,
Mhm.
I already had my brother-in-law's bike that I was riding, and of course, I was, ready to get on the highway with it, but still learning, still a
Yep.
newbie. And so the first thing I did was take the MSF course. That
Okay.
was so important. And I think that alone, before you go out and buy a bike, is one of the most important things, because you get a feel for whether it's for you or not.
Mhm.
Because just in my class alone, I saw a lady that she kind of hesitated through the first steps of it. I'm talking just like walking the bike across the parking lot. And
Okay.
after about an hour and a half, she was like, "I just
No.
really don't think this is for me. I'm gonna bow out." And so she left. But then you had others that were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't expect this, I
Let's
didn't
get on the
expect
streets,
this
yeah.
much." Yeah. And they were really excited about it. So I would say, before you go out and spend that money, at least go and take a course. They're very simple. The one that I took, the instructors were amazing. They
That's
were
so
so patient. They're all like retired police officers, and they weren't pushy. They just, very, very caring and very patient. And it was worth it. It was well worth the money spent. So I would say get started there in the MSF course. As far as I know, one of your questions was
Mhm.
community, like how to find people in your area. I would say there are several resources. Good morning. There are several
Total
resources.
mom stream right now. So.
It's okay. Yeah, it is a mom stream. Several resources. Support MVC, of course, on YouTube and Instagram. There are literally hundreds of people there from across the United States and the world. And, you get involved in that community and you kind of learn who's from what state and what area, connect with people in that way.
You helped create that Support NBC though, right? Like, can you kind of explain a little bit more how that got created?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so Tom Dirty D's started the hashtag support. And very early on, when I came into the community and started motovlogging, I came across it, and he and I became good friends. And I said, when I'm looking up hashtag support on YouTube and on Instagram, I'm not finding anything to do with motorcycles. I'm finding everything from addiction and, all kinds of stuff, but no motorcycles. And so I said, Tom, can we, instead of doing hashtag support, can we do hashtag support MVC, motovlogging community? Because I feel like that'll bring the motovloggers together to find each other. And he's like, that is a genius idea. And so I said, let's do it then. So we created Support MVC, and it has just grown and grown and grown. And I'm still amazed to this day how many people are in there and posting and connections. Across the world, literally I have friends all across the world.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's to be honest with you, that's kind of how I got started into that motovlogging part of it, because I knew it was something I wanted to do. But once I started following you, I saw the hashtags, I saw that, and I was like, this is a fantastic resource to not only meet other and connect with other motovloggers, but also see who's out there, because like you said, across the world, I love seeing all these different riders too.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I love it. And that's just one resource. The Badgers that are a part of the Support MVC group, they have supportbikers.com, and they actually have a map where you can add yourself to the map. And that way, if you're traveling somewhere and you want to meet up with somebody from that region, you can click on that map and find other motovloggers. You can find motorcycle businesses. And support other businesses. I love it. It's great. It's
just going to blossom and grow from there. So you kind of planted the seed and it grew to that.
Yeah.
So how it has been the motovlogging process for you? You started when? How long ago?
Let's see. Oh gosh, several years ago.
Okay.
And how I got into it was I was just posting little clips on Instagram, little 1-minute clips on Instagram of me riding. And I was just set them to music. I was editing in my phone at the time. And several people, like 2 Kiwi riders, who are great friends of mine now, and Tom D's, Dirty D's, several people encouraged me, you need to start a YouTube channel. I'm like, no way. I'm not starting a YouTube channel. What? And so that's how I got into it. And I just picked up a cheap little camera off of Amazon and put it on my helmet, and
you rode off with it.
Took off. I've upgraded since.
What do you love most about the motovlogging part? What's your favorite part?
Just being able to share, I guess, my adventures with people. When I get on the bike and I'm going to a certain location in Florida, I love to explore Florida because there's so much to see here, and I haven't seen it all, and I've lived here my entire life. So
I need to come
being
down
able to,
for sure.
being able to show people different aspects of Florida other than Disneyland and the beach, because that's what people think. Oh, that's Disney World. Disney World is in Florida. Well, there's so much more to it. So, yeah.
So where do you like to ride to the most when you're out there in Florida?
The ocean.
Oh,
I love to ride to the coast, to my mom's house. Anywhere there's a river, and there's tons of rivers right here where I'm at. I just love to be by the water, period.
Have you taken your bike on the stand before, or no?
Have I what now?
Have you taken your bike, like, on the sand at all, or is that, like,
Oh,
something?
yeah, yeah. So,
Okay,
close to my mom's house, there's this little place called Shirt Island,
okay.
and, yeah, you can literally, like, ride right there beside the water.
That's fantastic. I don't even have that experience at all here in
Yeah.
Wisconsin, clearly. We got Northwoods and trees, and so that's just a whole whole 'nother ballgame, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
Sorry, I've got my daughter in the background.
No, it's okay.
Normally, when we do these streams, they are asleep and whatnot, but it's right away in the morning. They're ready to go. They're in their PJs. So thanks for being flexible
Yeah, of course.
with them. So I guess if you can hear her, can you put that in the garbage, please? Thank you. Thank you. All you can hear is rattling paper, I'm sure.
That's okay.
I got sidetracked. So you love riding out in Florida. Is there anything else that you love and enjoy doing out there besides, riding your bike? What's
Yeah, of
your
course.
activities?
I love to hike. I love to kayak. In fact, I'm going kayaking tomorrow. I'm very excited because it's gonna be like 74 degrees here tomorrow.
I'm slightly jealous of you right now. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. What kind of
Yeah.
kayak do you have?
I just have a, Old Town. It's like a 10-foot kayak,
Okay.
but I'm going kayaking with a friend of mine that has a 16-foot canoe that he had special built in Canada, and it is like a
Whoa.
Cadillac. It is so light, and it just glides across the water. It's a two-seater. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Heck yes. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I have a Field and Stream one. My husband got it for me, but it's heavy. It's a sit-on top kayak.
Oh, yeah, mine's a sit-in.
Oh, I have a hard time getting it up on top of my Kia onto my car in order to just get it off of the
Yeah.
car
Well,
to be able to
that's
kayak.
the thing right now, I can't haul mine. I have a tiny little Nissan Rogue, and, I won't say that it's heavy. I can carry it by myself,
Okay. Do you
but,
still use like the wheels and everything to transport it too, or how do you
I
get your
don't know,
okay.
and that's the thing, I can't transport it right now because I can't get it on the top of my car, so I really have to rely on my friend to, when I wanna go kayaking, "Hey, are you available this weekend? Are we taking your kayak or mine?"
Oh, and it's gonna be 70 degrees outside and you're just
74
entering.
tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm slightly jealous, and I'm sure there's some people up here in the north that are like, it's frozen. There's no way I can even take. But there has been people that if there is water, they'll kayak in the winter up here. And I don't know if I fall into the water in like almost -degree temperatures, I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
sure I would enjoy it. Have you like
No.
I know for Florida, you've got a lot of other different species and stuff living in the
Oh, of
waters.
course.
How does that
So I get this a lot actually.
do?
So there's alligators. Anywhere in Florida that there's water, there's alligators. People always say, "Oh, are there alligators there?" If there's water in Florida, there are alligators, period. And
So how
snakes
close have
most
you
of the time.
gotten to any of them? Have
Oh
you?
my gosh, like feet away. Literally feet. I've had alligators bigger than my kayak follow me. Seriously. Um But, I mean, you just have to know when you're in an environment and you live in an environment, you know how to treat that environment, and
True.
so you know when to stay away, and you know when you can get close. If it's a big alligator and it's territorial,
Mhm.
go the other direction, leave it alone. Most of the time, they're just laying on the bank, they're chilling out, they're having a good time. I mean, you can kinda paddle up there, get your pictures, paddle away, but
And
if
you're
they're
good.
on a nest, of course, leave them alone, they'll
Yeah.
eat you. But,
Wow.
I've swam in rivers and stuff knowing there are alligators there, and they won't bother you unless, like I said, unless they're on a nest most of the time, so.
That's not a bad thing to not to have. You've got the company, so to speak, if you're out there just by yourself paddling.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sorry, I don't know if you can see her. She's
Yeah, I
got
see her back there.
she's got a little desk back there, so she's got pieces
Oh,
of paper and whatnot. So she's
cute.
working with mom for this morning.
Alright, that works.
So my question to you being mom, how has motorcycling really helped you become a better mom? Is there certain aspects that
I don't
have
even know how
shown
to
you?
I don't even know how to answer that other than just maybe, encourage my daughter that she can do anything she wants to do.
Mhm.
Don't hold back. If there's something you wanna do, go for it.
Absolutely.
At least try. And if you don't like it, then fine. At least you've tried and you don't. But
Yeah. But to find that passion, I think that's what it is. For me and you, it's motorcycling and that community. But for them, I just want them to find something that they have that same passion and want to strive and do. So you kind of hit the nail on the head. It doesn't have to be related to motorcycling, but for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry. Normally I'm so focused, but when you got a 2-year-old off in your office just hanging out with pens and papers,
it's all good.
So for you, what are you most excited about for this year? I know you have so much on your plate with the podcast and motovlogging and work and all that. What's coming for you? What are you excited about?
Well, just trying to get my house and all settled, which I am in now. For those of you that are watching my journey series, and maybe those of you that haven't, I got divorced last year. I've been divorced about 6-7 months now, and bought a piece of property and bought a home and put on it. And so I'm still getting settled in and maintaining stuff by myself, and that's exciting,
Yes.
a little bit at a time. I'm having to budget and add little things here and there and still get set up, but
to make it your own home. Does it feel like it yet, or you
yeah, absolutely. I've been there since November 1st, and I'm settled as far as that goes, but it's just still maintenance and adding stuff and so forth. But
it'll be a never-ending process from that.
Yeah, you'll have to watch my series if you want to see what's going on.
Yeah, you got
it. Other than that, I would say the thing that I'm looking forward to the absolute most is MMM and Midwest Moto Meetup, and finally meeting up with my 5 Dirty Bikers guys and all of our fans. And
can you kind of share a little bit from that side how you got into the podcasting part? Because I think you brought a whole different dynamic into it, and I love it. I've been listening to it since they first started, but once this has been a year, right, for you?
Yes, it has been. Yes. I love those guys. Okay, so how I got into it. So they started the podcast back, let's see, last year was 2020. So they started in 2019, I think around August, and there were 5 of them.
Yeah.
And one of them decided to step away. And so in December, they asked Tom, Dirty D's, and I to be guests on for December.
Nice.
And I said, yeah, that's cool. And so we were guests. And then later in the week, Tony called and said, hey, do you mind filling in for us the month of January? And I said, oh, no. He's like, I know you're busy, but do you mind? And I said, no, that's absolutely fine. I would love to. And so he's like, all right, well, I'm going to add you to our group text then. And I said, okay. And so he added me to the group text. And of course, it's
oh God,
crazy. Like, I laughed so hard that first month in that group text. Oh my God. But and I could tell they were holding back. That was the funny thing. Because it's dirty for a reason. And I was like, don't hold back. And so after being in the group text for probably 3 or 4 days,
you knocked down those barriers quick.
Yeah, Tony called me up on the phone and he's like, you got a minute? And I said, yeah, sure. What's up? And he said, we want you to be our 5th Dirty Biker. Can you do it? And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'll do it. I would love to. So I'll be honored. So yeah. So that's how I got into it, and we've been rocking along for a year now and growing, and it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, we've got patrons. In fact, my microphone is due to our patrons.
Very nice.
There were 3 of us that got an upgrade to our equipment because of our patrons, and yeah, it's awesome. We have our own Discord, and
I love that as a resource. It's a fantastic one. If you guys haven't or are not a part of it, it's a free. Nothing, no cost, anything. But there's so many riders out there that provide so many different, like from fun side, entertainment side of it, down to some seriousness and just content and playing off of each other. If you've got questions to do, I think it's just a fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, within that Discord, we even have a mentorship program that we're trying to build
Yes.
where if you're in a state and you've got somebody that wants to get into motorcycling but doesn't know anything about it, you can look in there and see who's in that state or maybe close to you in that area, and they can kind of help guide you like how to get started into it. That's one aspect of it. We have a mental health
Mm-hmm.
side of it in there too, where they have a chat every Thursday night where
Yep.
you can just come in and hang out, and yeah, it's growing. Our members are awesome. So
All the hard work that you guys have put into it has really shown within this last year. And so
yeah,
I
it's
want
been fun. It's
to
been so much fun.
especially you, because I think from when you started being a support in this motor vlogging community, it's kind of just grown and snowballed into what it is now for you. And so I'm
Yeah.
so happy to have you on this live stream just to
Oh,
show
thanks.
yourself and then what you're all doing within that motorcycling community. So if you
Yeah.
haven't checked Mary out, you need to check out her YouTube channel and her Instagram. I've got links in the description of this video too, but
Awesome.
we will kind of throw it out there. I know there's people in the chat right now.
There's a ton of stuff in the chat.
We can do kind of a
I've been trying to focus and answer
I
questions,
know.
but yeah, I've seen
It's
like
so
lots of
hard.
questions pop up. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us.
It's
I'm
so
gonna
hard to keep
scroll
track
back
of.
through here. I see a lot of my friends in here. I see Dustin from Five Dirty Bikers is in here, and Toby Northern. Dad and Mad's in here. Nomad Matt.
What questions do you got for Mary? If there's anything, we can kind of throw her away for the last couple minutes. Nope, leave the microphone alone.
Riding Fish says, "What's the podcast name again?" Five Dirty Bikers. And you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Go to fivedirtybikers.com. That has all of our links in there.
Yep, I put that in the description too. So if you're finished with the video, you'll see it in there as well.
Yep. I think Toby or somebody asked me how the deer feeder was doing. It is amazing.
You were sharing this beforehand. How many deer went past you? Was it last night, 2 nights ago on the way home?
So I was telling Whit, it's really hard for me to stay late and do after hour stuff because I have a 15-minute drive home on a 2-lane road through the woods, essentially, and there are so many deer. I passed 16 deer and 3 hogs on the way home the other night, and I was driving anywhere from 20 miles an hour to 45 miles an hour, and they stand like right by the edge of the road sometimes. And the next morning, there was a truck that was totaled and a huge deer dead beside it in the ditch, and I was like, "Yep, somebody got one of them." So. It's dangerous.
It's living out in that area just because you are a little bit like farther away from city life, but then yeah, you've got those factors to play into, especially up here too, especially when deer hunting season hits, they'll just fly right through because they're
and it is. I mean, like this is the final weekend, so I'm thinking if my babies make it through this weekend, we're good. Because I have consistently 8 that come up in my backyard every day.
I love it. So like they're pretty much going to be your, I don't want to say pets, but like they're going to come hang out.
Yeah, they do. They like what I'm feeding them. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Sorry. Good Life Riders was asking, can you give us details on the Midwest Moto Meetup and when it is?
Okay, so we are still waiting for a date essentially because of COVID and of course all the restrictions that are currently there. And I guess we're just kind of waiting to see what opens back up. Yeah, we're working on a date, but we don't have a set date right now. But if you'll go to our website, fivedirtybikers.com, there we'll post information as it's available. You know, we're trying to keep everybody updated, and we don't want to keep putting people off, but we have to make sure that we don't schedule an event and put so much work into it and, you know, for nothing. So
yeah. I get it. It's really hard to plan with something, especially last year and this year. But I commend you guys to keep pushing forward and finding something because I think everybody's looking for not necessarily those larger events. Daytona is down here by Florida. I know that's going on, but some of these smaller events that you can really engage with people and connect with people, I know they're looking forward to. I know I've got it on the calendar, but I understand it. Things might change, but Yeah.
Yeah. Florida's crazy as far as events. I mean, we don't shut much down here in Florida. Everybody just kind of carries on like business as usual, but that's not necessarily a good thing. But like for MMM last year, we literally got within 3 or 4 weeks, and Kentucky's governor was like, nope, can't do it. We're shutting it. We're shutting everything down. So, of course we were very disappointed because we'd put so much work into it.
But you're going to keep it still in that same area, right? So
oh yeah, it'll still be in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
It's like a perfect distance for the both of us to meet at the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at the side chat.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh man. Have you been to Daytona before? The Daytona Bike Week?
I have not been. No, I have not been. Honestly, my ex was not into going to bike events and stuff. I always wanted to, but he was like, nah, not really. Like he just wasn't a crowd person, but he's very reserved, where I'm very like, let's go. Let's do this. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a very social person, in case y'all missed that memo.
Well, a great call from your side of it, because you bring out some, like for me, I'm more on that reserved, quiet side, and so as long as I can connect with somebody on a 1-to-1 basis or 2-to-1, if you throw me into a mix of like 10 people, I'm like, I don't know what to say. Anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do want to go to more events this year. I really do.
Blacktop says Mary is free to do what she wants.
Yes, I am. Sure I am.
That's awesome.
Kind of.
I think somebody did ask if we're going to Daytona this year. For me, it's still up in the air. I've got some things in the works, but I have to figure out scheduling and a couple other things. But if I can, I'm going to try to. I'm not going to actually attend the event per se, but I really want to do the riding. So I might have to pick your brain, Mary, of like, where's good spots to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely give you some good spots to ride, especially if it's in North Central Florida. So, yeah.
Got it. All right, guys. Any other questions you've got for Mary, or else I'm going to have to put these kids to. She's destroying my office back here. You can probably see her head, but that's about all.
What's her name?
This is Blake. Blake, you want to come up here?
Hey, Blake.
Come up here.
Good morning, Blake.
No, thank you. She's trying to put my backpack on for some.
Okay, I gotcha.
If you can see it.
Let's see. To Mary, most seasons last around 15 to 20 something episodes. How many more to go in Journey? Oh, Toby Northern. So, Toby. I just finished editing episode 20 of Journey, and let me look at the date, because I have my notepad like right here beside me. Y'all are going to get burned out, I'm sure. But when I first started this series was for me. I figured if somebody wanted to watch it, then great. But this was basically for me to look back upon.
Yep.
But series 20 of Journey that I just finished editing is from June the 21st.
Okay.
And I kind of am still every now and then recording stuff. So, I mean, I got moved in on November the 1st. So moving in and settling in and all that. So, yeah, I mean, we still have a lot to go. When I do ride, I'll throw some moto vlogs in there every now and then. But for now, I mean, it's pretty much, this is the focus of my channel right now, is my experience of getting divorced and moving out and moving in. So
I love it. I commend you for doing that and sharing that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that will want to see that experience and kind of hear from your side of it. So I appreciate it.
Harley Day Rider says, husband who does not ride is a past husband. Well, actually, he rides more than I do right now. I mean, he really does. He enjoys riding. He just doesn't enjoy the camera aspect and the social aspect of it. So
same with my husband too. Every time I put the GoPro, the vlog, or on my helmet, he goes, "Are you recording?" I was like, "Bye, bye."
Yeah. Moto Blonde says, love the background. Thank you very much.
I know she's so fancy. We kind of shared a little bit of this before behind the scenes, but she's got quite the setup going on.
Stepping it up, I'm trying to keep up with my 5 Dirty Bikers guys because they've all got these fancy backgrounds and lights, and so yeah, this is the premiere of the background and the lighting and the new microphone and all that. So.
I love it. I need to take tips from you and create something along that.
It's not too hard.
No.
I do it very inexpensively.
But smart in that sense because it makes it look so professional.
Yeah.
Office to shame here. I love
Toby says, journey, no burnout here. It's like Discovery Channel, but I know the host. Yeah. That's sweet. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, good work. Thanks, guys, so much.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here this morning.
I know we're switching things up. Normally it's evenings and it's morning. And I know when we started this, I think it's like 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. on the West Coast too.
Yeah,
so.
I got up at 6 o'clock this morning to get ready to come into town. So
that's commitment right there. I appreciate it.
I see Wind Road Therapy Desiree in there. Hey girl, she's from here in Florida and I got to meet her recently. She's very sweet.
I follow her on Instagram too.
So. That girl goes through some adventures now, does she not? She's had an amazing adventure this last week or so.
Will you be riding up to MM or what are you thinking as far as?
So last year, what I had planned to do was actually trailer my bike and drive up.
Yep.
With that being said, though, that's when I was married and I had the truck at my disposal and the enclosed trailer at my disposal. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I've got to work it out. I could probably still borrow the truck and trailer because I work with him every day. This is something that a lot of people have questioned me about the Journey series. Who's helping you, in all these videos? Who is that? Well, that is my ex-husband, you guys. It was an amicable divorce. We work together 5 days a week. We have a business here. And so, literally we're still around each other. We're still friends. We have a daughter together and there was no fighting or fussing to it. It was just, okay, it's time to call it quits and move on and go our separate ways, in our personal lives. So, but yeah. So, I mean, he still helps me, out at the house when I can't do stuff, physically by myself or I need lumber hauled or whatever. He'll bring the truck and trailer out and go to Lowe's with me and get it and bring it back. And so, yeah.
That says a lot about your relationship and just how there is people too. So
yeah, total adults about it, just it was just time. So yeah.
So you're thinking possibly trailing, but would you consider the fact of riding out there or?
That is a long way to ride from here. Oh my gosh. I think I figured in the truck was a good 14, 15 hours or something. I don't know.
Is it almost like an iron butt, like distance wise?
Probably. Yeah.
Gotta be close to that.
Yeah, I think so. And honestly, my shoulders wouldn't be able to handle that long of a ride.
And even if you did and you got out there, then then there's the whole riding.
Yeah. And for me, okay, so I have a limited amount of time off. I only have 2 personal days that I can take. So last year was going to take 3 personal days. And I was going to leave on a Wednesday and just drive all day and get there and then hang out with the guys Thursday and Friday and Saturday and then drive back Sunday because I had to work Monday. So what in the hell is going on here this early? Good morning, Tony Cox.
Yeah, right.
Welcome. So
you'll make it work with the time.
I will definitely make it work because I love those guys and want nothing more than to come up there and hang out with them and have a great event for, our fans and everything. So
you build all the sponsorship up with that too. Like that's incredible from that side of it.
White Castle for the win.
I know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You got the support from it all.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Might have to cut this live stream short now.
All right.
These children getting out of hand.
They're ready to go, aren't they?
are. I know we could
breakfast
keep talking for the next like hour and there'd be people popping in on this. I don't watch it. At the same time, I kind of am leaving my kids up to their own devices, and I'm afraid
Yeah.
what the living room looks like after this. But thank you so much for being on here, dear.
Thanks for having me, Whit.
I
I've
just
enjoyed it.
see you in that light that you are a very like gem when it comes to the motorcycling community, and I'm so excited
Thank
to
you.
showcase you in that light here. And if you have any questions at all or want to get connected with Mary, again, I've left the links in the bio for this, but check her out, listen to the podcast, see if you can go to MMM. There's so many things from your side.
Oh, yeah. And if you need anything, I'm on Instagram. Have any questions, feel free. I mean, if I can answer them, I'll answer them. If I don't know the answer, I'll try and direct you to somebody that can.
You are a great resource. So thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for tuning in for your breakfast this morning. I love it. It's greatly appreciated at least from the USA side. So we will see you guys on the next one.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
You got it.